right, welcome back to chapter 5.2. Right, last that we left off, we finished doing the bad debt expense here. Okay. So now let's talk about delayed charges. What are delayed charges and credits? So in this case, oftentimes when you have a customer who is a frequent customer or someone who you know, they like to come in, buy a few products, and then they tell you, put it on my tab or charge it to my account later on, or charge this and then bill me later. Okay? These are called delayed charges, meaning they are going to pick up some stuff, they schedule it or whatever it is, and they're telling you, send me the bill later. Put it on my account, charge my tab, and bill me, and I'll pay it later. Okay? So in this case, that's exactly what Jeanette Diamond is going to be doing. So here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a delayed credit. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example here where we have Miss Jeanette Diamond, like we mentioned before, right? And she's going to make 4 purchases of the photo paper, okay? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and make 4 separate delayed charges for these separate dates in February. So again, she's going to do it on February 4th, February 11th, February 18th, and February 25th. And then we're going to overall at the end bill her on the end of February, so February 28th, for all the purchases that she's made. So let's go ahead and record our delayed charges. So starting from the very first thing here, we can go ahead and go to our plus new icon, and right here you got delayed charges. Okay, so I clicked on delayed charges. Okay, and now let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our information here. So we got Jeanette Diamond. Okay, there you go, Jeanette Diamond. Okay, today is going to be February. We said her first charge is going to be February 4th. So this is what we do. We're going to record what are the items that she bought from us on that day, but we're going to bill her at the end of the month. So again, does she have a tag to this? Let's see. Retail. And let's see, it's for the Walnut Creek location. So retail. Okay. All right, over here is going to be which delay charge is this. We're going to call this, let's see, we can call this the first one, right? Delay charge number 1, and then we'll just go from there. And it's going to be for the Walnut Creek location. So let me change the location. So once again, what is the item / service she's going to purchase for me? So she wants to get some photo paper. So here, photo, I typed in photo, and here we go, photo paper. Okay, a package of 100 of them. One of them is going to cost $25, and apparently we don't charge tax. Okay, so maybe she's a reseller. I don't know, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and not charge her tax for these items. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it says right here, taxable. Okay, so I guess we are taxing her for this item. And of course, you can make a note here for the sales rep. In this case, you're not obligated to, but if you want to, you can go ahead and say, yes, sales rep was Mike Mizuki. But in this case, I'm not going to fill it in. There's no spot for it, so I'm just going to go ahead and click save and close. Now I can do, or save and new. If I do save and new, that means I can go ahead and issue a new delayed charge for Jeanette Okay, so again, who? Shanette Diamond. Okay, there you go, Shanette. But this time, let's say it's a week later and she came by and purchased another one on the 11th. Retail. Okay. And once again, this is number 2 for the Walnut Creek location, and she's going to make the same exact purchase for photo paper. And we can go ahead and identify she wants one of them, and it's going to be taxable. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and click next. So next one, we'll enter in, again, Shanette Diamond for her 3rd purchase. There you go. Oh, nope. I think I misspelled her name. S-H-O. There she is, Shanette Diamond. And this time she's going to come and purchase the 3rd one on the 18th. Retail. Okay. For the purchase, once again, of the photo paper. Okay. 1 pack for $25, taxable. So, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close, or Save and New, so we can add the last delayed charge in here. So again, you can always save and close and then just open up a new delayed charge by going to the plus new. But in this case, since I'm going to go ahead and enter all 4 of her purchases all in one sitting, so I'm going to go ahead and just do the save and new. Okay, and retail. Okay. For the 4th one, for the Walnut Creek location, for the photo paper. Okay. Photo paper, 1, $25, charge and taxable, and I'm going to make sure this time, I'm going to make sure I go click Save and Close, since this is the last one we're putting in here. Okay, so there you go, Save and Close. So we issued 4 delayed charges. Oh wait, hold on, did I change the last date? 18/25. Okay, perfect. So then now, right, next thing I have to do is now I got to issue her an invoice. So you can either go to the invoice or you can actually click on the actual delayed charge and go ahead and copy it into a bill. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click on new invoice here. And I'm going to bill her for the end of the month of February. All right. And it's going to be for the invoice number 1065 for the total of that $110.25. Okay. So, whoops. I'm going to go ahead and go to Shanette Diamond, whether I can go here to new transactions here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a new invoice. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and invoice Miss Shanette Diamond here. Okay. Now check this out. So if I go ahead and put in Shanette Diamond and I select her name, your page right here on the right side should formulate what's called a drawer. Okay. This is the drawer of all the transactions that are related to Shanette Diamond. Okay. That we haven't billed yet. So in this case, these are all the items that are listed right here that I have yet to bill. So therefore, I can choose and select to add all of them, or I can choose to add one at a time. Now in this case, since I know there's the delayed charge number 1, delayed charge number 2, delayed charge number 3, and delayed charge number 4, I'm going to go ahead and click add all. Okay, so that's going to transfer all that information directly into the invoice. And of course, the service date right here gives you the date that she purchased them all on. And it says for the first one, and it's in order. So again, If it's out of order, you can just go ahead and use this little icon right here on the left side. So right here where you see the little 9 dots looking thing, if you put your mouse over there, you can go ahead and reorder them in the correct order. Okay, so you can make sure that these charges are done in order. Okay, so right here listed out all of the photo papers that she purchased, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so then now let's go ahead and update her account information. So again, terms is net 30. The date that we're invoicing her is going to be the end of the month, February 28. Her sales representative is Mike Mizuki. Okay. And sales receipt, or in this case, invoice number 1065. Of course, to the Walnut Creek location. It should be retail for the tags. Listed out all 4 of them, and they should all be taxable. So again, we need to also, since she purchased from the Walnut Creek location, we need to charge her at the Santa Clara. So in this case, total tax is $10.25. So therefore, grand total that she owes is going to be $110.25. Okay, any additional notes you want to put in here, it's up to you. But everything looks good. I filled in everything. And we can go ahead and click Save and Close. Okay, so that's how we go ahead and create a delayed charge. And when we bill our customer, we just put the customer name in the invoice, and it should populate everything that you need to add on your drawer on the right side. Okay, so that wasn't there earlier, but as soon as we put in that person's name, it popped up on the screen on the right side, and you just select the items that you want to charge her for. So in this case, all those items were there, so we went ahead and select all. And that's what you can do. So if you do have customers that come in and they say, oh, just put it on my account, or send me the bill later on, then you can go ahead and do a delayed charge. Okay. So next one is going to be customer statements. So as we go through every single transaction, right? If I go to my customers list, let's take a look here. Okay. So my customers list, right? We have Mr. Tim S. Fang here. We have Miss Liz Cadell, right? And notice this, each person will have some kind of account balance. Even though we have involved with them and they made a payment, they still, if you click on their profile, you can see every person's transaction list on there, right? We dealt with Veronica Vasquez. We dealt with Shanette Diamond. We dealt with Miss Satterley, right? Nao Garcia, right? Madeira Builders, Linda Fulton, and Miss Liz Cadell. All of these we did some kind of transaction with, right? Now, statements, customer statements is usually only available for anybody that has some kind of customer activity, right? Oftentimes, you wouldn't send a statement to someone who has no account balance. But if it is involving, let's say, their activity for a certain time period, usually that's something that you want to make sure that the customer knows, just so then they know that they don't owe anything anymore to the company, right? Now, usually, again, a statement, right? It's a common thing to let your customers know what of their account activity is, what did they purchase from you, how much do they owe you. So typically, a customer statement would usually have a bill attached to it as well, or an invoice, right? So the customer knows how much is due, so then they can just write the check and pay you, right? And again, so it's just like anybody who owns a credit card. Usually, oftentimes, the credit card company will send you your monthly statements to let you know all your credit card activity. This is the same exact thing I'm talking about, which is customer statements. Okay, So let's go ahead and talk about how I can issue my customer their customer statements, right? So in this case, what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and go to the new plus icon like we said, and you're going to go ahead and click on statements. So remember, the statements tab here is for you to go for your customers, okay? So again, it's going to be on the far right side here where you can have statements right here. If I click on that, it's going to pull up this window to let you go ahead and create those statements. So in this case, what are the criteria of the statements that I'm looking for? So you want to make sure that the statement type is, you want to make sure it's a balance forward. Okay, so make sure you do take a look at here in your book about the different types of statements you can create. So again, balance forward, right? Basically lets you know how much the customer owes you, and it also has the bill that's attached to it, right? So there are 3 different types. You got that one, and you have open item, and then of course you have your transaction statement. So whichever one that works best for you, for your type of customer, or what kind of record you want to give your customers, you're going to go ahead and ensure which one that you're going to choose. So that in this case, right, they tell us that we are going to do balance forward types of statements to send to my customers, which includes the end date. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and select the date that you're going to issue these statements for. So depending on how often a customer buys from you or what their frequent activity is going to be. So for this case, right, usually for us, since we are a photo type of service provider, you might not have the same clientele for very long. So maybe you could just go ahead and do their monthly statements for that month, because oftentimes, usually, our type of business doesn't really get the same customers all the time year round. So in this case, a monthly statement is perfect, and we're going to do it for February 1st. So meaning the date that you're going to start on is January 1st, and the date that you're going to end is going to be on January 31st, right? You're going to bill them or send them that statement as of February 1st. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So once again, here I clicked on statement. So we're going to go ahead and fill in the information. So again, what type of statement are you doing? We're going to do balance forward. So that's already selected. What is the statement date? Okay, we said February 1st is going to be the statement date, which will include the activity from January 1st, okay, all the way to January 31st. So that's their activity, right? It's going to be for the month of January activity. Okay? So once you've done that, now you're going to notice that there are no, okay, I'm going to click apply. And there you go. You should have a total of 3 statements that you can go ahead and send to your customers, okay? So you have one for Liz Cadell, you have one for Medill Builders, and you have one for Shanette Diamond, okay? Now again, you can choose to save this, right? Print or preview. So if I click print or preview, right here, it will show you an example of what the statement will look like. So again, you may have to format this as a custom style form. So again, you can do that in the custom form styles, right? Where you can build your own statement. So then you can format a certain way to have your company logo and things like that. But this is an example of what your balance forward statement's going to show, right? It's going to show you their account activity, right? So in this case right here, you got the balance forward, you got the invoice, and the payment was received, right? This is for Miss Liz Cadell here. So remember, we billed her for the $1,138, and then we received a payment from her for that $806. So this is an example right here. And here's the example for the second one. So again, it shows you an example of what to expect for each statement. Now, if you don't like the way it looks, again, you might have to customize that through the custom style form. But in this case, that is exactly how we can just go ahead and take a look at all the statements that you're looking at. Okay? Now, you don't want to send a statement to everybody. Okay? So again, you can choose the way that you can issue these statements to. So oftentimes, right, you can choose if they want paperless, right, you can send them an email, right? But in this case, it says that they're missing emails. But if you want to actually mail them out, you can go and click on statement availability, okay? And then, of course, that will be it right here where you are going to be mailing out your statements. Now, again, this one kind of filters for you automatically because you definitely don't want to bother anybody that has no account balance, okay? Except for this one, right? But again, you want to ensure that their payment has gone through. So again, this is for those that you have charged as of January and so on and so forth, right? Well, I'm not going to print this or I'm not going to save it, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of it. But that's the simplicity of issuing those statements for those customers. Okay? Now, there's nothing special in regards to building your customer statements, right? Just the different, if you want to mess around with the different types of statement forms, that will probably be the most that you could do custom-wise. But you also want to make sure that you can customize their date too. So if you want to change your statement billing dates or statement reporting dates or your closing dates, you can do, you can do quarterly statements, you could do weekly statements, you could do whatever you want, okay? But most common ones are monthly statements. So that is it in terms of statements. Okay? Next thing we're going to talk about are late fees, okay? Now, oftentimes when a customer decides to miss a payment or they don't pay on time, or they only did a partial payment but didn't pay the rest off, for whatever reason that you want to justify a late payment charge or a late fee, you can do it for whatever circumstances you want, right? It's your company policy on what you want to consider a charge for, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you have your company policy. So if you say, for instance, you are late on making the payment for the customer, is late on making a payment, or they forgot to pay, or they didn't pay on the statement due date, right? For whatever company policy that you charge your customers for and that they agree to is what you're going to do, is what you're going to charge on your customers. Now, if you remember from chapter 3, we actually set up some preferences where we turned off late fees. Now, in that case, right, when you automate that to turn off late fees, what that does is so in that case, if you turned it on, it would automatically charge a late fee for whenever the statement is late, or there's no payment received and the bill is not being paid on time. It will automatically create a late fee charge on there, and it will automate that for you. Now, in this case, right, you can do that for the sake of, that way you don't have to be aware of your customers, or just keep a really good track record of them. to go ahead and charge those late fees, it will automatically do it for you. But in this case, let's go ahead and talk about the late fee charges. So again, if you do end up having a company policy where you charge your customers, okay, a late fee charge, and it's a standard rate, right? You can go ahead and be able to do so. So let's go ahead and, so it says here that we're going to go ahead and toggle that late fee, and we're going to go ahead and make that setting, okay? So let's go ahead and go to my gear icon once again, and we're going to check out those late fee settings. So again, I'm going to go to my, I'm going to go ahead and go to my gear icon account settings, right? This is going to be under your sales tab. Okay, right here, sales, right? And it's going to be down at the bottom, late fees, and right now we have them turned off. So if you have them on, it's going to go ahead and tell you how to set up those late fee charges. Okay? So here, right, what kind of type are you going to do in terms of late fees, right? What date are you going to issue these late fees? Okay, so right here, you want a flat rate, you want a percentage, what do you want, how much is the amount, and then of course you're going to go ahead once on per invoice. In this case, right, it could be $10, $15. So in this case, I'll go ahead and put just $10 for now. So yes, you can go ahead and issue these late fees, but if for instance you choose not to and you want to manually do it yourself, then don't set up anything here, okay? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this blank and I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this because I want to be able to control my late fee process. Okay? So let's go ahead and first things first is you need to go ahead and create your late fee account first, and then you're going to create your late fee service item right after, okay? So first things first is creating that late fee account. So again, if you turn it on, then it will automatically create for you, but if you do not and you have that option off, then you're going to have to create that account yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my chart of accounts, and I'm going to go ahead and ensure that there is a late fee income account. So in this case, I do not have a late fee account, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. Okay, and this is supposed to be an income account, late fees. Okay, so income, which is here, and it's going to be, let's see. It should be other income. Okay, so you have other income. So I'm going to go ahead and put other income. Because in this case, late fee charges are not for the sales, right? It is for the purpose of late fees, right? That you charge on top of your customers because they failed to make a payment to you. So again, late fees are going to be late fees. And do you charge a specific rate? In this case, that's for your other account. So there you go. You now have your late fees account on here. So now you're going to go ahead and create your service item here so you can go ahead and charge your customers late fees. So here you go. I go ahead and click on service. Okay, service is going to be called late fees. Okay. late fees, right? What is this for? This is going to be for overhead or admin if you have it as admin. Let's see what we have it as. We have it as admin, right? An admin, or that's going to be the category, but in this case right here, it's going to be overhead, and then it says charge for late fees, $10 late fee, and again, it's going to be for the late fee income, which is non-taxable, right? It's a flat rate that we're going to charge. So in this case, overhead, right? Okay. Charge for late fees. Okay. What is your price for that? It's $10. And once again, what income are you going to have this as? You're going to have this as the late fee income account that we just created. Okay. And it's going to be non-taxable, so I'm going to need to I'm going to skip this and then click here and make sure I toggle this as non-taxable. Click done, and then I'm going to click save. So now I can go ahead and charge my customers for the late fees. So in this case, right, we're going to take the example here where we're going to go ahead and invoice Miss Shanette Diamond for the late fee. So in this case, right, earlier we said that Shanette Diamond, we billed her on January 15 for that Supra camera, right? And then we returned the lens, right? Or in this case, no. We sold to her 2 lenses and 1 Supra camera package, and right now, let's just say she forgot to pay. So in this case, it is now February 15. It's the accounts receivable is overdue. So we're going to go ahead and invoice her and charge her for that additional $10 late fee. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and bill her. So that means when she is subject to have to pay, we're going to include that in part of her account balance. So again, we're going to have it due on the receipt date for Shanette Diamond for February 15. Again, Mike Mizuki is her sales rep for invoice number 1070 for the Walnut Creek location. So once again, I'm going to go, since I'm already here at sales, I'm going to go ahead and click on this icon here. And we're going to go, we're in the customers. Okay, you can also actually click on, we're on products and services. So if I go click on my customers, I can go ahead and select Miss Shanette Diamond, right? And I can go ahead and I can receive a payment from her. I can go ahead and create an invoice, send a statement. So I'm going to go ahead and create an invoice for Miss Shanette Diamond. So in this case, when I do it through the customer center, it's going to have all of her information already put in there. All I have to do is just toggle the date and everything else, right? So in this case, the date I'm going to charge her for is going to be the 15th of February. Again, sales rep is Mr. Mike Mizuki. Okay. Invoice number 1070. Okay. And again, for the Walnut Creek location, once again, tags is going to be retail. And then I'm going to go ahead and issue a bill to her for the late fees. So again, late fees. Here you go. One of those for $10, non-taxable. So I'm going to go ahead and issue her, right? Again, we need to make sure it is Santa Clara, right, for the $10 charge. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. So Once I have that, if I click on Shanette, or sorry, I was on the customers already. If I click on Shanette Diamond, she owes us now $1,586. If I go ahead and click on her account and take a look at her transaction record, right? This is what we have here. We invoiced her a couple times. Right here, we invoiced her originally for that $1,466. And here, because so here, this is what I was talking about, this right here. We charged her for the delayed charges. So here and here, here and here. So there you go. That's all calculated in there. Here's that $10 late fee, right? And then, of course, we invoiced her for all of those outstanding charges. Okay? So there you go. That is her record right there. Okay? So that's what you do when you do late fees, is that's how you issue them. Okay? All right, last concept for chapter 5.2 here is making payments for sales tax. So what we've been doing so far is every time we make a sale, we've been collecting sales tax, right? So if you remember all of those different charges we made for our customers, and we selected whether it's the Santa Clara tax or whether it's the San Jose tax, right? So the last thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and make our payments to sales tax, because that is our duty as a retailer, is we are collecting that money for the sole purpose of giving that money to the different counties and the states that we're charging, right? Because that's our responsibility. We said we're going to open up shop, and we agreed that we're going to be collecting sales tax to contribute to society. So in this case, now how I scheduled it, if you remember back then in chapter 2, I said that I would make monthly payments to sales tax. So how do I go ahead and make a payment to my sales tax? I just go straight to my taxes, okay? On my left navigation bar, right here at the top, okay? So, okay, so it says filing date. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I think it's for the Nevada one. Oh, it tells me I have to set up my sales tax. I thought I already did earlier. Wait, let me go back to taxes. Okay, and it should be there. I don't understand where my sales tax is, because how could I have sales tax charge if I don't have sales tax? So I'm going to go ahead and fill those out real quick. So filing frequency, we're going to do monthly. Okay, and click save. All right, and there you go. So there it is. It just wanted me to report how often I'm going to make my payments for. So right now it says that I have zero balance, which, you know, if you actually scroll down, this is your actual payments that you've collected so far. So in this case, this is just basically giving you how much money, right, that you owe as of November. But in this case, we are not going to go down here. We're going to scroll down to take a look at our records, right? Because we say we're going to make monthly payments. So this one, right, this is the first monthly payment from January to January 31st. Here's the second one for February 1st to February 28th. So in this case, we've only done activity for mostly January, right? And then February, we dabbed a little bit in there. But in this case, most of my transactions were here in January, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make a payment to my January sales tax, and I'm going to make a payment on February 20th since I established that I'm going to make my monthly payments, right? I'm going to make my monthly payments on the February 20th, okay? So in this case, that's what I'm going to do. So here I'm on my left navigation bar looking at my sales tax center. So I'm going to go ahead and click View Sales Tax Returns for January 1st to the 31st, and I'm going to make my payment, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my January 1st to January 31st. So what I do here is I got to go here and view tax returns. Okay? So here we'll pull up that form for you on when these sales tax are due and so on and so forth. And it also will let you know how much you owe. So in this case right here, I can even view my report. So it tells me here that I owe $304.93 worth of sales tax. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select right here that I'm going to go ahead and record a payment. So when I click on that, it's going to go ahead and tell me that I am actually going to do an EFTPS, or in this case, this is the state, so you can either do EDD or whichever one that is the electronics, because in this case, this is going to be an electronics funds transfer, right? You're going to transfer the money via over the website, okay? So again, payment date. So it says right here, I can choose my payment date. So I'm going to choose it to be the 20th of February, okay? My bank account, what bank account am I going to use? I'm going to use my checking 1025. Any memo that I need to write, because I'm gonna make a payment for $304.93. So again, do you need to make a note to yourself? Okay. Again, you're not gonna print a check because you're gonna pay via electronically by wiring it to the state and local agencies, whichever one that you did here. So in this case, this is the Department of California. So once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and make sure tax amount, payment date is it's 2021, and it's going to be for your checking account, and you're going to go ahead and click pay. So I need to change my statement date to 2021. There you go. Okay, there you go for the $300 here. It says invalid date. There, is that valid? It says it's not valid. Okay, so it might be like this. There you go. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and click record payment. So now that you've recorded that payment, it will give you your statement here saying that you made a payment for the California tax here, and that you paid the government, and now you owe, you should owe nothing. Total after adjustments, which is your $304.93. So there you go, and then you can go ahead and safely go ahead and either back to sales tax, and you already made a payment. Okay, so and then here, if you scroll down, it's going to tell you that you should have paid, and there you did, right? The status here is that you paid, and you paid for the total amount of that $300. Okay, and that's how easy it is. Now remember, you need to set up your account with the state, okay? So right here, we're going to pay the department, once again, California Department of Tax and the fees administration. So you're gonna set up an account with them, and you're gonna pay them via electronically by doing an EFTPS, or sorry, that's federal taxes, but something like that, right? You're gonna use some kind of some kind of tax system where you pay virtually online. Okay, so you're going to do an EFT, right? An electronics funds transfer, or in this case, you can also use an ACH, right? But you cannot pay with your credit card, right? This money has to come directly from your checking account, because that's how it usually does. It's wired from your checking account to the state's checking account, okay? So you're doing a virtual payment. And of course, your checking account should also record that on February 20th you made a payment, okay? So there you go, and the status said it is paid. So that's how you pay your sales tax, okay? So that is it for 5.2 here, where we dealt with our customers and what to do with your customers and making your payments for sales tax and charging your customers for any reason. Okay. We'll do the review questions when we finish up chapter 5. Okay. Right.